He believed the world obeyed him. He believed everything had a price. But in Umuahia village, he would learn the one truth his wealth could never buy. This is the story of a man who lost everything to discover what truly matters. Hit the subscribe button to enjoy more stories. The day Obinna Azubuike's Range Rover broke down in Umuahia village, he was certain his life couldn't get any worse. He was wrong. Obinna was 35 years old and worth 2 billion naira, a self-made billionaire who'd built his telecommunications empire from scratch. He wore Italian suits that cost more than most people's annual salary. His shoes were handmade in London. His watch could feed a family for 6 months, and he made sure everyone knew it. "My time is worth 10,000 naira per minute," he told his assistant that morning. "I don't waste it on mediocrity." Now, his phone was dead. His driver had mysteriously disappeared to find help 3 hours ago, and he was stranded on a dusty road in the middle of nowhere, watching the sun sink toward the horizon. The village that was supposed to be a shortcut to his meeting in Aba had turned into a nightmare. Obinna kicked his tire in frustration, then winced. His expensive loafers weren't made for physical labor. He looked around at the cluster of mud houses and thatched roofs. This place probably didn't even have electricity. How did people live like this? "Brother, you need help." Obinna turned to find a girl, maybe 19 or 20, standing a few feet away. She wore a faded wrapper and blouse, the kind his housekeeper wore. Her feet were bare and dusty, but her eyes were bright with intelligence and something else, amusement. "My car broke down," Obinna said curtly. "Obviously. Do you have a phone? I need to call my people." "No phone," the girl said simply. "But my father can look at your car. He fixes things." Obinna looked at her incredulously. "Your father? What is he?" "A village mechanic. This is a Range Rover. It cost 35 million naira. I don't think your father has even seen a car like this." The girl's smile didn't waver. "You're right. He's never seen a car like this. But he's fixed tractors, generators, motorcycles, and even a helicopter once. So maybe he can help. Or you can sit here and argue with the darkness when it comes." She had a point. "Fine," Obinna said, as if he were doing her a favor. "Take me to your father." The girl turned and started walking. "My name is Ugochi, by the way. Ugochi Okafor." "I didn't ask," Obinna muttered, following her down the path. Ugochi's home was exactly what Obinna expected. A small compound with mud walls, a thatched roof, and chickens running around freely. Her father, Mazi Okafor, was working under the shade of a mango tree, repairing what looked like an old generator. "Papa, this man's car broke down on the main road," Ugochi said. "Can you help him?" Mazi Okafor looked up. He was maybe 60, with gray hair and hands covered in grease. He studied Obinna for a long moment. The expensive clothes, the gold watch, the arrogant posture, and something flickered in his eyes. "Bring him water first," Mazi Okafor said. "He looks thirsty." "I don't want water from a..." Obinna started, then caught himself. "I'm fine. Just fix my car so I can leave." "Please sit," Mazi Okafor said, gesturing to a wooden stool. "I'll come look at your car, but first, you sit." There was something in the old man's voice, a quiet authority that made Obinna sit despite himself. Ugochi brought water in a clay pot. Obinna stared at it with distaste. "Is this water even clean?" "Cleaner than the tap water in Lagos," Ugochi said cheerfully. "We fetch it from the stream every morning. No chemicals, no rust from old pipes, just pure water." Obinna didn't drink it. He set the cup aside and waited impatiently. while Mazi Okafor gathered his tools. Together, they walked back to the Range Rover. The old man opened the hood and studied the engine with the focused intensity of a surgeon. He touched various parts, listened, tested connections. "Your fuel pump is damaged," Mazi Okafor said finally, "and your alternator is failing. You pushed this car too hard on these bad roads." "Can you fix it?" Obina demanded. "Not today. I'll need to order parts from Abe. Maybe 3 days." 3 days? Obina exploded. "I can't stay in this bush for 3 days. Do you know who I am? I have meetings, deals worth millions. You have nothing," Mazi Okafor said calmly, "except time to wait. Unless you want to walk to Aba. It's only 40 kilometers. Obina pulled out his phone, still dead. His backup battery was in the car's glove compartment, but that was useless without power to charge it. He was trapped. "Fine," Obina said through gritted teeth. "Is there a hotel here? Somewhere I can stay?" Ugochi laughed. Actually laughed. "Hotel? Brother, this is Umuahia village. Not Victoria Island, but you can stay in our compound. We have a guest room." "Your guest room?" Obina looked at the mud house with horror. "It has a bed, a roof, and no cockroaches," Ugochi said. "What more do you need?" "Everything," Obina thought. "Everything you people can't possibly understand." But as darkness fell and the temperature dropped, Obina realized he had no choice. He followed Ugochi back to her compound, muttering complaints with every step. The guest room was small, tiny really, with mud walls painted white, a narrow bed with a thin mattress and a single window. There was no air conditioning, no TV, no Wi-Fi, just a kerosene lamp for light. "This is where I'm supposed to sleep?" Obina asked. "Yes," Ugochi said, "unless you prefer outside with the mosquitoes. Dinner will be ready soon." She left before he could protest. Obina sat on the bed and put his head in his hands. 3 days. 3 days in this primitive place with these primitive people. How had his life come to this? An hour later, Ugochi called him for dinner. The family ate outside under the stars. Mazi Okafor, his wife Mama Ugochi, Ugochi herself, and 2 younger brothers. They sat on mats on the ground, eating from a communal bowl. "Sit," Mazi Okafor gestured to an empty space. I don't eat like this," Obina said. "Don't you have plates? Chairs?" "We have plates for special occasions," Mama Ugochi said gently. "But food tastes better when shared from one bowl. It reminds us we're family." "I'm not your family," Obina said. "You're our guest," Mazi Okafor replied. "Which makes you family for as long as you're here." Ugochi handed Obina a plate. Apparently, they did have individual plates for stubborn guests. The food was simple. Jollof rice, fried plantain, and goat meat stew. Nothing fancy, nothing like the 5-star restaurants Obina frequented. But when he took a bite, he paused. It was delicious, actually delicious. The flavors were rich and perfectly balanced. The meat tender. The rice cooked to perfection. "This is good," Obina admitted reluctantly. Ugochi smiled. "We may be poor, brother, but we know how to cook. Mama won a cooking competition 3 villages over last year." They ate in comfortable silence, the family chatting about their day, crops planted, chickens that laid eggs, a neighbor who needed help fixing his roof. Simple things, small things. Things Obina would have dismissed as meaningless. But watching them, seeing how they laughed together, how the children teased each other, how Mazi Okafor looked at his wife with such tenderness after 40 years of marriage, something twisted in Obina's chest. When was the last time he'd had dinner with anyone? Really had dinner, not a business meeting disguised as a meal. When was the last time someone looked at him the way Mama Ugochi looked at her husband, with genuine love, not calculation about his net worth? After dinner, Mazi Okafor brought out a kerosene lamp and began teaching his younger sons mathematics by its light. Ugochi sat nearby, reading a worn textbook. "What are you studying?" Obina asked, despite himself. "Economics," Ugochi said. "Correspondence course from the university. I'm in my 3rd year. Why not attend the university properly?" "Money, brother." Ugochi's tone was matter-of-fact, not bitter. "We don't have funds for lodging and fees, so I study from here. Walk to the cyber cafe in the next village to submit assignments. It takes longer, but I'll get there." "What will you do with an economics degree in a place like this?" Ugochi looked at him, then really looked at him, and her eyes held something that made Obina uncomfortable. Pity. "You think a place like this has no value?" she asked softly. "You think because we're poor, we're purposeless?" "I didn't say that." "You didn't have to. It's written all over your face." Ugochi set down her book. "Let me tell you something, brother. I'm going to use my degree to help my village. We're going to start a cooperative. Farmers pooling resources, getting fair prices for crops, cutting out the middlemen who exploit us. I'm going to teach financial literacy so our people aren't cheated. I'm going to build something meaningful." "That's ambitious," Obina said, but his tone was patronizing. "No," Ugochi said. "Ambition is what you have, wanting wealth and success for yourself. What I have is purpose. There's a difference." The words hit Obina harder than they should have. That night, lying on the narrow bed, listening to the sounds of the village, crickets, distant singing, the wind in the trees, Obina couldn't sleep. Ugochi's words kept echoing in his mind. Ambition versus purpose, wealth versus meaning, success versus significance. He'd built an empire, yes, but what had he built it for? To prove he was better than everyone else. To show the people who doubted him that he could succeed. To accumulate things that would turn to dust when he died. The next morning, Obina woke to the sound of roosters crowing. He stumbled outside to find the entire family already awake. It was only 5:30 a.m. and they were working. Mazi Okafor was tending to the crops. Mama Ugochi was pounding yam. The boys were fetching water, and Ugochi was sweeping the compound, humming to herself. "Don't you people sleep?" Obina grumbled. "We sleep," Ugochi laughed. "But the morning is the best time to work. The air is cool, the mind is fresh. Why waste it?" "I pay people to work for me in the morning so I don't have to," Obina said. "That must be nice," Ugochi said. "But then, you miss the morning. The way the sun rises. The way the dew feels on your feet. The way the world wakes up. You pay people to live your life for you." Another arrow straight to Obina's heart. "Come," Ugochi said. "Help me fetch water from the stream. The walk will wake you up properly." "I don't fetch water," Obina protested. "You're a guest who eats our food and sleeps in our house," Ugochi said firmly. "The least you can do is contribute. Or is your pride too heavy to carry a bucket?" Stung, Obina followed her. The walk to the stream was longer than he expected. About 30 minutes through a path lined with palm trees and cassava farms. Ugochi carried a large bucket on her head, as if it weighed nothing. Obina carried nothing and was already sweating. At the stream, he watched as Ugochi filled her bucket from the clear flowing water. Other village women were there too, washing clothes, chatting, laughing. They greeted Ugochi warmly and eyed Obina with curiosity. "Who's this one?" an older woman asked in Igbo, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Your Lagos boyfriend?" No, Mama Nkechi, Ugochi replied in Igbo with a grin. Just a proud man learning to be humble. They all laughed. Obina, who understood Igbo perfectly, felt his face burn. Here, Ugochi handed him a smaller bucket. Carry this. Let's see if your expensive arms are as strong as your expensive mouth. The bucket, when filled, weighed more than Obina expected. Much more. He tried to lift it to his head like Ugochi did and nearly toppled over. More laughter from the women. Just carry it in your hands, Ugochi said, not unkindly. Small steps, brother. The walk back was torture. Obina's arms burned. His back ached. Water sloshed out of the bucket with every step, soaking his expensive trousers. By the time they reached the compound, he was gasping, humiliated, and more exhausted than he'd been after any boardroom battle. Ugochi set down her bucket, still full, without even breathing hard. Now you know, she said, what your housekeeper does every day when she cleans your house, what your driver feels when he carries your bags, what every person you look down on goes through just to survive. Obina had no response. He was too busy trying not to collapse. Over the next 2 days, Ugochi made Obina work. He helped in the farm. His hands blistered within an hour. He tried to split firewood and nearly chopped off his toe. He attempted to cook and burned the rice so badly even the chickens wouldn't eat it. Every task was humbling. Every failure was a lesson. But something else was happening too. Obina was learning to see these people, really see them. On the second morning, a commotion woke Obina before dawn. He stumbled outside to find the entire compound in chaos. Mama Ugochi was crying, and Mazi Okafor was organizing the men. What's happening? Obina asked, still groggy. Mama Nkechi, the woman from the stream yesterday, Ugochi said, her face tight with worry. Her house caught fire. She's lost everything. Did she have insurance? Obina asked automatically. Ugochi gave him a look that could have melted steel. Insurance. Brother, she barely has food. Come, we're going to help. Within an hour, the entire village had mobilized. People brought what they could. A mat, a pot, some yams, a wrapper. Each contribution was small, sometimes laughably small by Obina's standards. One old man brought 3 eggs. A child brought a single tuber of cassava, but together, these tiny offerings became a mountain. Obina watched, stunned, as people who had almost nothing gave what little they had. No one complained. No one calculated what they'd get in return. They just gave. Why are they doing this? Obina asked Ugochi as they walked to Mama Nkechi's burned compound. They're all poor. They need these things themselves. That's exactly why they're doing it, Ugochi said. When you have nothing, you understand that we only survive by taking care of each other. Your Lagos people, with their big houses and big walls, they've forgotten this. They think money makes them safe. But these people know the truth. Community is the only real security. When they arrived, Mama Nkechi was sitting in the ashes of her home, weeping. Her 3 grandchildren, orphans she'd been raising, clung to her, their faces smudged with soot. The village women surrounded her, singing, not words of pity, but songs of strength, songs that said, "You are not alone. We are here. We will rebuild." Obina stood awkwardly at the edge, unsure what to do. He'd written checks to charity before, big checks, tax-deductible checks, but he'd never actually stood in the presence of someone's loss. "Brother, don't just stand there," Ugochi nudged him. "Help clear the debris. We're rebuilding today." Today, but Obina looked at the destruction. "This will take weeks. You need materials, labor, planning. We have hands. Mazi Okafor said simply. That's all we need. The men will cut palm fronds for the roof. The women will mix mud for the walls. By tonight, Mama Nkechi will have shelter. Tomorrow, we make it stronger. Next week, we make it beautiful. But today, we make sure she has a roof over her head. And they did. Obina worked alongside them, mixing mud with his hands, his expensive soft hands that had never touched dirt. The mud was thick and heavy, and his back screamed in protest. But around him, old men and young boys worked without complaint. Women balanced headpans of water while carrying babies on their backs. Children gathered firewood and sang work songs. By midday, Obina was exhausted. His clothes were ruined. His hands were raw. His muscles ached in places he didn't know he had muscles. But the walls were going up. During a brief rest, Obina found himself sitting next to Papa Emeka, the man who had to be at least 70, with hands gnarled like tree roots. "You're working hard, Lagos man," Papa Emeka said, offering Obina water from a shared cup. "Not like I expected." "What did you expect?" Obina asked, too tired to be offended. "Expected you to throw money at the problem and walk away." Papa Emeka's eyes twinkled. "That's what your type usually does. But money doesn't build houses. Hands build houses. Sweaty backs build houses. Love builds houses." "But money could buy better materials," Obina argued. "Cement instead of mud. Zinc instead of palm fronds. This house you're building will barely last." "You're right," Papa Emeka interrupted. "This house might not last 50 years. But the memory of today, of everyone coming together, that will last forever. Mama Nkechi's grandchildren will remember that when their grandmother lost everything, the village showed up, not with pity, not with charity, but with labor and love. That lesson is worth more than cement." Obina was quiet, letting the words sink in. Papa Emeka continued. "You know what your problem is, Lagos man. You measure everything by how long it lasts, how much it costs, how impressive it looks. But life isn't about monuments. It's about moments. And this moment, right here, right now, this is what it means to be human." By sunset, Mama Nkechi had a new house. It was small, simple, but solid. When they finished, the entire village celebrated. Not because the house was fancy, but because it existed. Because they'd built it together. Mama Nkechi wept and tried to thank everyone individually. But Mazi Okafor stopped her. "We don't thank family," he said. "We just show up." That night, as Obina lay on his narrow bed, he thought about his mansion in Lagos. 7 bedrooms, 4 sitting rooms, 3 kitchens, all for just him and his rotating staff. He'd never felt more poor. The next day brought another lesson, this one even more painful. Ugochi took Obina to visit Mama Obiageli, an old woman who lived alone at the edge of the village. Her compound was neat but tiny. 1 small room, a cooking area, and a small vegetable garden. Mama Obiageli was once the richest woman in this village, Ugochi explained as they walked. Her husband was a successful trader. They had a big house, servants, everything. "What happened?" Obina asked. Her only son, a lawyer in Abuja, took everything. He convinced her to sign papers she couldn't read, told her he was investing her money. Then he disappeared, sold her big house, took all her savings. She hasn't heard from him in 5 years. Obina felt sick. That's criminal." "Yes," Ugochi said quietly. "It's also common. How many old parents in Nigeria are suffering because their educated children forgot where they came from?" When they arrived, Mama Obiageli was sitting outside stringing beans. Her face was weathered but peaceful. When she saw them, she smiled. A gap-toothed smile that held no bitterness. "Ugochi, my daughter, and you've brought a visitor. Welcome, my son." Obina shifted uncomfortably as Ugochi explained who he was. The old woman's eyes sharpened with interest. A big man from Lagos. How wonderful. Sit, sit. Let me make you something. No, Mama, we came to check on you. Ugochi started, but Mama Obiageli was already shuffling toward her cooking area. She returned with a small plate of chin-chin and a cup of zobo drink. Obina knew, looking at her sparse compound, that she probably couldn't afford to give away food. But here she was, offering what little she had to a stranger. Mama, please, I can't take your food, Obina protested. You must, Mama Obiageli said firmly. In Igbo culture, a visitor is a blessing from the ancestors. How can I receive a blessing and not honor it? Obina took the chin-chin, his hands trembling slightly. It tasted like ash in his mouth, not because it was bad, but because of what it represented. As they sat, Mama Obiageli told her story without self-pity. How her son had been brilliant, how she'd sold her jewelry to send him to university, how proud she'd been when he became a lawyer. I thought I was investing in my future, she said with a sad smile. I thought, when you give everything to your child, they remember. But I learned that education without character is useless. My son learned to read and write, but he never learned to love. Aren't you angry? Obina asked. Don't you hate him? Hate? Mama Obiageli shook her head. What good would hate do? Would it bring back my house? Would it fill my pot? No, I chose peace instead. Every night, I pray for him. I pray that whatever is troubling his soul gets healed. I pray that he finds his way back, not to me, but to himself. How can you pray for someone who destroyed you? Obina's voice cracked. Mama Obiageli looked at him with such tenderness that Obina felt tears sting his eyes. My son, let me ask you something. How many people have you destroyed on your way to success? The question hit Obina like a physical blow. I didn't destroy anyone. You just did business? Mama Obiageli smiled sadly. You just made tough decisions. You just prioritized profit. Tell me, Lagos man, do you know the names of the people you fired? Do you know which families went hungry because you cut their salaries? Do you know whose dreams you crushed because you outbid them or undercut them? Obina couldn't speak. His mind was racing through memories. The employees he'd dismissed without a second thought. The small businesses he'd destroyed by undercutting their prices. The suppliers he'd squeezed for every last naira. You see, Mama Obiageli continued gently, my son and you are not so different. You both forgot that every decision affects a human life. The only difference is, my son's victim can sit here and tell him he was wrong. But your victims? They suffer in silence while you sleep in your big house and tell yourself you're a good man because you follow the law. Tears were streaming down Obina's face now. What do I do? How do I fix it? You start by remembering, Mama Obiageli said. You go back to Lagos and you remember that every number on your spreadsheet is a person. Every business decision is someone's life. And you ask yourself, am I building wealth or am I building wreckage? She reached out and took his hand. Her hand rough and worn, his soft but trembling. It's not too late to change, my son. It's never too late. But you must choose to see. You must choose to remember. You must choose to care. When they left Mama Obiageli's compound, Obina couldn't stop crying. Ugochi walked beside him silently, letting him process. I've been a monster, Obina finally said. No, Ugochi corrected gently. You've been blind. There's a difference. Monsters can't change, but blind people can learn to see. That evening, the final lesson came unexpectedly. A young man named Chukwuma came to Mazi Okafor's compound, carrying a small bag. He was maybe 25, thin and nervous. "Papa Mazi," Chukwuma said, bowing respectfully, "I've come to return what I borrowed." Mazi Okafor took the bag and looked inside. Just a few hundred naira, maybe 2,000 total. "This is only half," Mazi Okafor said. "I know, Papa, but my mother needed medicine. I promise I'll bring the rest next month. I'm working extra shifts at the palm oil factory." Mazi Okafor studied the young man for a long moment. Then he handed back half the money. "Keep this. Buy food for your mother. The medicine is useless if she's starving." "But Papa, the debt will still be there next month. Your mother's health won't wait." Mazi Okafor placed his hand on Chukwuma's shoulder. "Go, take care of her." After Chukwuma left, Obina turned to Mazi Okafor. "You're not worried he won't pay you back?" "He'll pay when he can," Mazi Okafor said simply. "But what if he can't? What if you never see that money again?" Mazi Okafor smiled. "Then I've lost 2,000 naira, but gained the knowledge that I helped a young man care for his mother. Which one do you think matters more in the end?" "But that's not how business works." "I'm not doing business," Mazi Okafor said. "I'm being human. You people in Lagos, you've forgotten the difference. Everything is a transaction. Everything has terms and conditions. But relationships aren't contracts, Lagos man. They're covenants." You don't love people because it's profitable. You love people because you're supposed to. Later that night, Obina sat with Mazi Okafor under the stars, and the old man told him stories. Stories of the village, of times when they had even less, of how they'd survived by taking care of each other. "You want to know the real secret of wealth?" Mazi Okafor asked. "It's not in taking more, it's in needing less. The happiest man is not the one who has everything he wants, it's the one who wants only what he has." Obina looked at this poor man, who was richer in wisdom than any business school professor, who was wealthier in peace than any Forbes list billionaire. "I've wasted so much of my life," Obina whispered. "No," Mazi Okafor said firmly. "You've invested it. Sometimes we invest in the wrong things, but the return is the same. We learn. Now you know better, so now you do better." And Ugochi, stubborn, brilliant, purposeful Ugochi, wasn't just some poor girl. She was a warrior, fighting for her community, with nothing but her mind and her determination. On the third day, Mazi Okafor announced the car was fixed. "Your parts arrived from Abba," he said. "Everything is working now." Obina should have been relieved, excited, ready to escape this backward place and return to civilization. Instead, he felt sad. "How much do I owe you?" Obina asked, reaching for his wallet. "Nothing," Mazi Okafor said. "Nothing. But the parts, your time. You've already paid," the old man said. "By staying, by learning, by letting us teach you what you needed to learn." Obina stared at him. "I don't understand." Mazi Okafor smiled. "When you arrived, you were a rich man, but a poor soul. You had money, but no meaning, success, but no humility. We gave you something more valuable than anything you could pay us. We gave you eyes to see your own poverty." Tears stung Obina's eyes. When was the last time he'd cried? "I've been such a fool," he whispered. "Yes," Ugochi said, appearing beside her father. "But a fool who learned is a wise man in training." Obina looked at this girl, this brilliant, beautiful soul, who had nothing by the world's standards but everything that mattered, and felt something crack open in his chest. "Come to Lagos," he said suddenly. "Let me fund your education properly. Full university, accommodation, everything." "No," Obina blinked. No? I don't need your charity, brother, Ugochi said gently. I need you to change. Go back to Lagos. Look at the people you've been stepping on. Use your wealth to lift them up, instead of to lift yourself above them. That's how you pay us back. But, and maybe, Ugochi added with a smile, if you really learn humility, if you really change, come back and visit. Not as a rich man slumming in the village, but as a human being visiting friends. Then, we'll know your lessons took root. Obina drove away from Umuahia village with tears streaming down his face. His Range Rover felt ridiculous now, unnecessary, ostentatious, a monument to his own insecurity. When he returned to Lagos, he looked at his mansion with new eyes, at his servants, whom he'd never bothered to learn the names of, at his employees, whom he'd treated as numbers on a spreadsheet. That week, he called a meeting with his entire company. Standing before them, he did something he'd never done. He apologized. I've been a terrible boss, Obina said. I've valued profit over people. I've measured success by my bank account instead of by the lives I've impacted. That changes today. He raised everyone's salary by 30%. He started a scholarship fund for employees' children. He created a profit-sharing program. He began learning his employees' names, their stories, their struggles. His board thought he'd gone insane. His profits, surprisingly, went up. 6 months later, Obina drove back to Umuahia village. This time, he didn't come in his Range Rover. He came in a modest car, wearing simple clothes, bringing not money but genuine friendship. Ugochi was in the compound, studying under the mango tree. She looked up as he approached, and her smile was like sunrise. You came back. I did. I wanted you to meet the new me, the one you helped create. They talked for hours about his changes, about his studies, about life and meaning and purpose. I have a proposal, Obina said finally. Not charity, a partnership. Your cooperative idea. It's brilliant. Let me invest in it. Not as a rich man buying his way in, but as a partner who believes in the vision. We split everything equally. You lead, I support. What do you say? Ugochi studied him for a long moment. Then, she extended her hand. Welcome home, brother. Let's build something meaningful. As they shook hands, Mazi Okafor watched from the doorway and smiled. Another broken soul had found its way. Another proud heart had learned humility. Another rich man had discovered he was poor until he learned to give. The village had worked its magic again. And Obina Azubuike, billionaire, businessman, former fool, had finally become rich in the ways that mattered. The end. The calabash that is full of itself cannot receive more water. Only when we empty our pride can we be filled with wisdom. Ancient Igbo proverb.